Having spent nearly 550 million Great British pounds or 611 million euros on 16 new players, breaking the record for the most amount of money spent in one season on players, and breaking the British transfer record by getting Enzo Fernandez for 106 million pounds, how on earth are Chelsea doing all this without FFP getting involved? Now, first of all, we need to start by discussing how much money the club actually has. They obviously have the prize money from Champions League, Premier League, etc. They have revenue from matches, from people going to matches, buying food, whatever. But how much do the owners themselves have? Now, it seems that people actually forget that Chelsea is owned by a consortium rather than just one person. Todd Boehly leads the consortium, and he has a net worth of $5.3 billion. He also owns Eldridge Industries, which owns $50 billion worth of assets. Next is Bedad Eghbali, who has a $4.3 billion net worth and co-owns Clear Lake Capital, which has over $70 billion worth of assets. Then we have Mark Walter, who has a $5.4 billion net worth and is the CEO of Guggenheim Partners, which owns over $325 billion worth of assets. So, clearly, money is not an issue to these guys. It's very important to mention that when Roman sold the club, the contract Todd Boehly signed included a clause to invest 1.5 billion Great British pounds into the squad, and he's not allowed to take any money out of the club for a minimum of 10 years. But now we move on to FFP. So to start, we need to discuss a particular word: amortization. Now, amortization is the process of writing off the cost of an asset over time, which is why we're seeing Chelsea given 7+ year contracts. For example, Wesley Fofana signed for Chelsea for about £70 million on a 7-year deal, and using amortization that comes to £10 million per year. However, that is just on the fee, and it does not include wages. It's just on the fee. But that comes to £10 million per year on the books that the club is losing. Now, I'm sure that rival fans will be very happy to know that UEFA are putting a stop to amortization by making it so you can only spread the cost of a transfer fee over 5 years rather than 7. So even if you sign a player for 7 years and you plan to do the fee over that 7, you're only allowed to do it over 5. So Chelsea will not be able to sign players for 7 years to spread out the cost of the transfer. They can only do it over the first 5, and that's it. It is also very important to mention player sales are booked at full value FFP wise, whereas purchases are booked year by year. So when Wesley Fofana signed for Chelsea for £70 million, it went down as £10 million per year as he signed a 7-year deal. But when Chelsea sold Eden Hazard for £100 million, that went down as £100 million going into the club, even if it was over the course of time that it was being paid off. So you can see why amortization is crucial to Chelsea's transfer plan. You might also be thinking, if Chelsea have found this loophole that allows them to spend £500 million in one season without FFP getting involved, why doesn't every club just do that? And that is because it is such a risky thing to do. The players have signed very long contracts, and if they flop for all those years, it's going to be very hard to sell them. So it's a very high risk, potentially high reward system that some clubs just simply aren't willing to take on. Now, we do have to realise FFP is worked out over a 3-year period, and if we take the last 3 years, Chelsea have gained quite a chunk from sales, including the likes of Eden Hazard to Real Madrid for £100 million alone, Alvaro Morata to Atletico Madrid, Tammy Abraham to Roma, Kurt Zuma to West Ham, Fikayo Tomori to AC Milan, Timo Werner to Leipzig, amongst others, and the total player sales revenue for all those is £406.58 million. Now obviously that is short of £550 million, but we also need to consider revenue from sponsorships such as Nike and Free, ticket and merch sales, fans buying food and drink at games, because it all contributes. There is one very important thing that we have to mention as well. When Roman Abramovich sold the club, he wrote off a £1.6 billion debt that the club were in debt to him by, which financial experts say could have wiped clean the financial status within FFP, which means Chelsea can spend up to £1.6 billion without FFP saying anything. So hopefully this has helped you to understand a bit better how Chelsea are avoiding FFP this season. Obviously, we can't keep this up. We have to cut down on spending at some point. We still have to do some more player sales, such as Gallagher, Loftus-Cheek, to balance the books a bit more. But right now, I think we can keep spending a little bit. But obviously, at some point, we do have to stop. But yeah, that's how Chelsea have done it, pretty much through amortization and through quite a lot of player sales in the past. So I hope that you learned something from this video. Give it a like. Believe it or not, this is actually taking quite a long time to make because of all the research and everything. See you on the next one. Peace out.